Hello, my name is Keshwani. It's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to improve our English. We want to improve our vocabulary. We've been at it for 40 days now. Yesterday was our day number 40. And for those of you who have been following these lessons continuously, you would know by now there is a pattern here. At the end of every 5 days, we have a quiz. Yesterday was day number 40, which means today is our quiz number 8. At the end of every 5 days, you see. So today is our quiz number 8. And again, for those of you who are familiar with the pattern, you would know that what we do in the quiz is go over all the words that we learned in the last 5 days, namely day 36, 37, 38, 39 and 40. Go over all of those words very quickly. I will not stop to give you the pronunciation. I will not go into too much detail. We will not go in depth. Very quick. It's a quiz. We are not learning the words for the very first time. So here we go. Day number 36. The very first word, or to be more precise, the very first words that we learned on day 36 were, there were 3 of them: caprice, whim, and impulse. And of course, impulse is a very simple word, and so is whim. They are very simple words. It's the caprice that we want to learn. Caprice means these 2 words. It means to do something on a whim, to do something on an impulse. Caprice, whim, and impulse, they all mean the same thing. The reason I put down these 2 words is because we want to learn their adjective also. The adjective of caprice would be capricious. Or better yet, let's put it in the capital letter. Capricious. Similarly, whim, if one does something on a whim, one is said to be whimsical. You're being whimsical. That means you're doing things on an impulse. There is no premeditation. You did not think of it ahead of time. You did not pre-plan it. You're just behaving like a child. You do things on an impulse. You're impulsive. Oh, that's the next one actually. Impulse, the adjective would be impulsive. That's it. Then we learned 2 more words which also mean the same thing, and the words were fickle. To be fickle means to be whimsical, to be capricious, to be impulsive. And finally, mercurial. Mercurial. As I said, I'm not going to go through the pronunciation. I'm not going to go into in-depth. If you want to watch the video and learn the word mercurial properly, which I would advise that you do, because I went through the etymology of the word in great detail, and if you do not know what etymology means, it's time that you go back to the day that I covered it in. And which day did I cover it? I do not know. If you give me a second, I'll look it up and tell you. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, don't go away. Etymology simply means meanings of the word, history of the word, the story behind the word. And it's important that you understand the etymology, if not all the words, at least some of the words, at least the interesting word. We covered this word etymology on day number 8. So if you want to learn this word in more detail, it's pronounced etymology. I hope I spell it correctly. It doesn't look like I spell it correctly. I have this nagging, there should be a Y in there. E-T-Y. Etymology. If you want to learn this word in detail, go to day number 8. Just type in Keshwani Prep -vocab -day 8 and it will pop right up. Anyway, so when we covered the word mercurial on day 36, we covered that etymology of the word in great detail. It comes from the Greek god Mercury, rather Roman god Mercury, who was who is rather in the Roman mythology He's very quick, he's very swift, he's sly, he's difficult to pin down, he's slippery, he's difficult to pin down. And from the word, from the Greek god, from the Roman god Mercury, we have Mercurial. The Mercurial person is very difficult to predict. The Mercurial person is very difficult to predict because he is fickle. He does things on an impulse. He's impulsive. Okay. So that was the end of day number 36. Let's go to day number 37. Day 37. And as I always remind you in all the quizzes, I'm not this sloppy when we do the regular videos, as you probably know by now. Here I'm pressed for time because we have to cover all 5 words, and I don't want the videos to be way too long. As it is, they stretch into 25-30 minutes, and I don't want to go into longer than that. So that's why I become a little bit sloppy, and because I'm pressed for time, as I said. The word is concoct. Concoct is how it's pronounced. Concoct. What does it mean to concoct? It's a verb. It means to make things up, to make up a story, to cook things up. Let's see if I want to put all this thing on the blackboard or not. Concoct. To make things up. To cook up a story. I think I'm going to throw this one. I don't like it. It means to fabricate. To fabricate. If you fabricate a story, if you're fabricating a story, you're making it up. It's not true. You're just making it up. You're skimming. You're cooking it up. To contrive. Again, I went in great detail when we talked about the word contrive. If you want to learn it properly, one more time, I keep repeating it like a parrot. Contrive. If you want to learn it properly, go to day number 10 and you will learn it. That's what it means. Concoct. And of course, the noun would be concoction. Concoction. That's the noun. Concoction. The next word that we learn on day number 36. This marker is also going in the garbage. I hate them because I keep picking them up, so I have to get rid of them right away. The next word that we learn on day number 37 had absolutely nothing to do with the word concoct, completely unrelated. And the word was squander. What does it mean to squander? It just means to waste. To waste. That's it. Again, I understand my pronunciation and sometimes my accent. I do not say it the way pronounce the word that the native would like it, but at least you get the idea. It means to waste. One can waste one's time. You can squander. One can squander time. One can squander money. One can squander an opportunity. Yeah, I know I had an opportunity. Like a fool, I squandered it. We have all done it in our lives, where we look back and we regret the opportunities, many opportunities that we squandered. Out of silliness, out of pride, whatever it is. But anyway, that's a different story. Neither here nor there. That's what it means, squander. The next word we learned was prodigal, which also means to be wasteful. To be wasteful. It means to be extravagant, to be lavish. If you're being lavish, you're being extravagant, you're being wasteful, you're prodigal. After that we had another word, which again had absolutely nothing to do with the previous word. These are completely unrelated words. The word is volition. Lish. Volition. What does it mean? To do something of your own volition. It means to do, this is a noun, it means one's own free will. Volition means free will. So if you tell somebody, if you're in the court and and the judge asks you why did you do it, you say, well, you could, and you're trying to convey the idea that you did not do it by choice, you were forced to do it. You could say, I did not do it of my own volition. I did not do it of my own free will. I was forced. I was coerced. That was the next word we learned. Coerce means to force somebody. To force somebody to do something. If you force somebody to do something, you are coercing them, and that person is doing that thing under coercion. The noun would be so it just means to force someone to do something either by pressure, by pressuring them, by threats, or by intimidation. You intimidate them, you threaten them, you pressure them, and if they do it because of that, then they're doing it because they're being coerced. They're not doing it of their own, don't say free will, they're not doing it of their own volition. That was the end of day number 37. Let's move on to day 38. I keep looking at the clock because I don't know. I think we already have been at it for 15 minutes, and I just want to pick up some speed. The very first word we learned on day number 38 was veracity, which means truth, truthfulness, honesty. It's a noun. Veracity. So if I say something to you, and if you think that I'm lying, you might retort. Oh, that's a good word. Did we learn the word retort? I believe we did. It was on day number. If we did not, we will in the future. That's why I make a note of it. Day number 34. Retort means to talk back, to give a quick reply. Not to be confused with repartee, which is also a quick reply, talking back and quick reply, but it is done for the purpose of being humorous. Sometimes some people say something and you reply a very quick, instantaneous reply, and it's a funny reply. It requires wit. If you're being witty and giving a quick reply, that word is repartee, which was also something that we learned on day number 34. Again, you want to learn these words in more detail, obviously go to 34, type in Kishwani Prep -vocab -day 34, you will learn. Where was I? Oh, so if I say something to you, and if you think that I'm lying to you, you might retort, you might give me a snappy, quick reply that I doubt the veracity of your statement. So if I say something and you say right away, you say to me, I very much doubt the veracity of your statement. What you're telling me is that you are a big fat liar. Well, because you doubt the veracity of my statement, you doubt the truthfulness of what I'm saying, you doubt my honesty. That's what veracity means, truthfulness. The adjective would be veracious, which means honest, truthful, accurate, honest, truthful. So if you're being veracious, you're being honest, you're being truthful. Do not confuse this word, veracious, with was another word that I covered the other day. Voracious. Let's see, when did we cover the word voracious? I believe in the recent past. Do not confuse the two words. As you can see, the difference is only one letter. I know I have sometimes trouble with my accent as I keep repeating it. I'm quite cognizant of it. There you go, day 35. Sorry. Means to be voracious is a different word. It means to be extremely greedy, to eat in a very hungry manner, voracious appetite. To be greedy, to be wanting a lot more, which is a very different word from voracious. You see, voracious, and voracious. Don't confuse the two. The difference is only one letter. All the spelling is the same, except one letter, the vowel. O versus E. Those are two separate words. And like I said, sometimes I have trouble pronouncing the words, and I'm quite cognizant of it. I know it. I'm aware of it. Cognizant was the word. Again, these are good words. They just crop up in the lecture out of nowhere for no good reason. And this is how you begin to employ them in your speech, in your writing. That means that's what you want. That's what you want to achieve, so that you know that you have mastered them. I know we covered this word, but I do not know when. Oh, on day number 3. Cognizant, to be aware of it. So anyway, that was it. Let's move on. The next word we covered on day number 38 was a tautology. If you watched that video on day 38, you will see that I was quite worked up about it. A tautology is something that is true by definition. So when somebody states a tautology, whatever it is they are saying, when you state a tautology, the reason why the tautologies are annoying is because when one states a tautology, one is never wrong, absolutely never wrong, but you have not said anything. For example, if I ask you, why weren't you here yesterday? You say, well, because I was somewhere else. Well, that's a bloody tautology. It is true by definition. That's what it means. Not being here yesterday means you were somewhere else. I already know you were somewhere else because you were not here. So a tautology is just describing the same thing that I said in a different words, because you're just giving me definition. And definition, of course, is something that is true by it's a definition. It's true. That's how we define it. Why weren't you here yesterday? Oh, because I was somewhere else. That's a bloody tautology. It is true by definition. That is what it means not to be here. The meaning of not being here means you were somewhere else. You understand? Tautology is very annoying. And sometimes people have this tendency to state tautology and they think that they're being intelligent, they're being intellectual, they're being funny. All they are being is annoying. They are extremely annoying. It's a needless tautology is a needless repetition of the same idea. Do you understand? Another example I gave you when I was covering the word tautology, another example I gave you is, why is that room dark? And you proudly tell me that because the lights are not on. But that is what it means for the room to be dark. When I ask you why is that room dark, what I was asking you is, why the bloody hell the lights are not on? That's what I was asking you. So you're simply repeating the same idea in a different word. You're telling me something that is true by definition. It's true by definition because lights not having been turned on is what it means for the room to be dark. You have not told me anything. What I was looking for is, why is that room dark? What I was looking for is something with more information. Or because somebody is sleeping in that room, they don't want a light turned on, or because the bulb is out, or because I'm conserving power, or some reason for it. That's what I was looking for. And that would not be tautology. Then you gave me some more information. by simply telling me the room is dark because the lights are not turned on. You have not told me anything new, because that's what it means for it to be dark. You understand? Tautologies are very annoying. Avoid them. Next word we learned was axiom. So if something is a tautology, you will say it is tautological. An axiom is also a statement that is taken as true. Something taken as true. An axiom does not require a proof. It does not require proof. Does not require proof. If you say something to somebody and somebody says prove it, you could simply reply to them, why the hell should I prove it? It's axiomatic. What you're telling me is that it is something that does not require proof. You understand? There are 3 feet in a yard. Or prove it to me. No, I won't prove it to me, because it's axiomatic. Because that is how a yard is defined. That is the definition of a yard. It contains 3 feet. There are 60 seconds in a minute. Prove it. There's no need to prove it. That is the definition of a minute. We, as a human race, have come to an agreement that a minute is going to be 60 seconds. Not 100 seconds, not 10 seconds, not 20 seconds. We have come to an agreement on 60 seconds. That is the definition of a minute. It doesn't require proof. It is axiomatic. It's an axiom that a minute has 60 seconds. It's an axiom. That statement was axiomatic. There we go. That was the end of our day number 38. Let's move on to day number 39. On day 39, actually, we did only 2 words. Spatial and spatial. Even myself, I cannot actually tell the difference between the pronunciation, so I make it sound like it. I pretend that I know how to pronounce them differently. I don't actually. But anyway, learning the pronunciation is important, but if you do not know it, that's fine. At least you will learn the difference between the 2 words in your writing and reading, so that you will not end up using the wrong word in your writing in the wrong place. What's the difference? A word beginning with an E, it has an E at the beginning, and this one does not. Same word, but no E. Spatial and spatial. How do you know which one to use when? For example, if I tell you that since I'm in such a creative mood today, I'm going to use the same example that I used a week ago. I hate shopping. I hate shopping. Especially on weekends. Here, this word is wrong. How do I know it's wrong? Because if I can replace this word, with the word particularly, then you know that the word that you need here is one with the E. It should have been this word. I hate shopping, particularly on the weekends, because it's so bloody crowded. I hate crowds. I hate shopping to begin with, particularly on the weekends. I do not want to go shopping on the weekend, especially on the weekend, because it's too crowded. Okay? And of course, without the E, it means something very particular, something very unique, one of a kind. You already know what that means. The next thing we talked about on day number 39 was, what does it mean? What does it mean for a person to be particular? What does it mean if you describe somebody as particular? You say, well, he's so particular. What does it mean, he's so particular? It means he is so picky. think this marker should be retired. Particular means to be picky. To be meticulous. It means to be, that B was not supposed to be capital, to be fastidious. He is very particular. He is very difficult to please. He is very picky. He pays attention to detail. I say it in a negative manner, but being particular doesn't have a negative nuance. Fastidious does. The difference between being fastidious and being meticulous, again, if you do not know the word nuance, we covered it on day number 1. Very first word on the very first day was the word nuance, and the next word I'm going to use is connote. Let's see, when did we cover the word connote? Also must have been a very beginning of the thing, because it's a very important word. What does it mean to connote? On day number 16. Connote and connotation. The word difference between the word fastidious and word meticulous is that fastidious sometimes has a negative nuance, has a negative connotation, whereas meticulous means you're very proper, you pay attention to details, it has a positive connotation. You're very particular. That's it. Let's move on. Day number 40. Last day, day 40. Let's see what did we learn. Inadvertent. To do something inadvertently means to do something not on purpose. Not on purpose. You would think that I would be able to spell the word purpose without having to look at my notes. But, that's life. To do something accidentally. Unintentional. The reason I wanted to learn the word inadvertent is because many a times I have seen people going around saying I did it accidentally. Don't use the word accidentally. Accidentally has a different kind of nuance. It has a nuance of tragedy. It has a nuance of really bad outcomes and so forth. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Inadvertent is a very benign word. It just means you didn't mean to do it. Why did you move the book? Oh, I did it inadvertently. That means I didn't mean to do it. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't paying attention. That's all. You understand? On the other hand, accidental has a different thing. You understand? So don't confuse the two. Inadvertent is the word. It just means not to do it on purpose. So if you do something unintentionally, adverb, you would be doing the thing inadvertently, accidentally. That's it. Then we learned the next word we learned on day number 40 was unrelated word. The word was timorous. Oh, this is taking quite a bit of time. It means to be timid. It means to be cowardly. It means to lack courage. Timorous. Okay, so next time don't say I was timid, just say I was timorous. The antonyms we learned were valiant. To be valiant means to have courage, to have valor. Another word we learned was, the simple, straightforward word was diffident, which means not to be confident. If someone tells you, don't be so diffident, they're telling you, don't be so cowardly, don't be so timorous, don't be so timid, have some confidence. Have some confidence in yourself. Don't be so timorous, don't be so diffident. You understand? Diffident. It's a simple word, confident and diffident. Again, I covered this word in a lot of detail on that day. As I always tell you, go and watch the videos properly. First of all, I do not know why the bloody hell you should be watching this video if you have not learned those words, because this is supposed to be a quiz. I hope you have learned or watched all the videos 36 through 40 before you do the quiz, because that's the idea. That's why I go fast. It's just a quiz. The very last word we learned on day number 40 was accentuate, which means to highlight, to emphasize, to stress, to underline, and finally it means to underscore. We covered the word underscore on day number 12. Underscore and accentuate are synonyms. If you're accentuating something, you are putting emphasis on it. You're emphasizing it, you're underlining it, you're underscoring it. Underscore. You're stressing it. That's it. That was the end of our day number 40, and hence that is the end of our quiz for today. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope your vocabulary is expanding and you're learning new words and having fun in the process, in the bargain. As I always told you, don't turn it into a chore. Have the right attitude. Have fun with it. If you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, I tutor for the GRE, the GMAT, SAT and the TOEFL. As you can see there, you go to any of these website addresses and send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to help you out in whatever way I can. prep4gre.com, prep4gmat.com, prep4sat.com, or prep4TOEFL.com, and any of these addresses you can use the link there to send me an email. Or you can simply go to keshwaniprep.com and you can send me an email from there as well. Okay? Thank you.